Hi friends, have you listened before the rhyme of the ant and the grasshopper? I'm sure you heard about it. Today I'm going to read a story about this ant and the grasshopper. So let's start. Grasshopper loved the summer. He would spend all day perched on the blades of grass, basking under the sun. Occasionally, grasshopper would hop from the blade to another, but most of the time he was happy to do absolutely nothing. Grasshopper was just about to doze off when there was an annoying heaving and panting sound right beneath him. It was an ant pushing an ear of corn across the ground. No wonder he was panting because the corn was twice as big as he was and the nearest cornfield was a good distance away. What a silly thing to do on a hot sunny day like this. Grasshopper laughed. Just look at you, all hot and bothered. It has to be done, said Ant, wiping his brow. I have to take this corn to my nest. No, you don't, said Grasshopper. You could just eat it here rather than drag it all that way. Come on, we will have a picnic. And Ant wiped his brow again. He would have loved to stop for a picnic, but there was far too much work to be done. You don't understand, he told Grasshopper. This corn is not to eat now. It's to store in my nest. Grasshopper laughed so much that he nearly fell off his blade of grass. But that means you will be going backwards and forwards, heaving heavy loads from dawn to dusk. He mocked in all this heat. I know, said Ant, but it's so I have plenty of food for winter. Nothing grows then. It's not like it is now, when there is food wherever you look. Grasshopper lazily glanced all around him. It was true, there was food wherever you looked, lush grasses, golden fields of corn, delicious little fruits and berries. And it was also true that by winter it would have all disappeared. But that did not mean he was going to scurry frantically about like ant puffing and panting on a hot sunny day. Winter's ages away, said Grasshopper. Enjoy the lovely summer with me. Crawl up here and let's have that picnic. However, Ant was already crawling away, lifting the ear of corn again, heaving it across the ground. Crazy, Grasshopper called after him. We ants like to think ahead, Ant panted in reply, not for a moment pausing in his heavy task. Summer will not last forever. Grasshopper jeeringly shook his head, reclining on his lush blade of grass. As he looked up at the perfect blue sky, he wondered how anyone could possibly think about winter on a day like this. It seemed to Grasshopper that summer would surely go on forever. The summer lasted for weeks and weeks, months and months, but it did not go on forever. Eventually, the long, cloudless days became a little shorter. The sun was not quite so hot now, and the flowers were starting to fade. Autumn had arrived. I had better stock up with food, Grasshopper said to himself. Climbing down from his blade of grass with a shiver. He was sure there would be a little bit left before the forest and snow arrived. Where can I find some food? He asked a little mouse who was peeping out from the leaves. There is nothing growing, replied Mouse. You are too late. Even the fruit that fell from the trees has all been carried away by the other animals. Grasshopper was distraught. He felt so very hungry. How am I going to manage? He asked the mouse sadly. He knew that when winter came he would be starving. Then he suddenly had an idea. He would visit Aunt. With all that corn he had been storing right through summer. And Aunt would surely have a little to spare for his hungry friend. By the time winter set in, the hunger and biting cold made Grasshopper weaker and weaker. It took him a long time to reach Aunt's nest. Aunt, are you there? He called faintly. It's your friend, Grasshopper. I have got no food. Could you spare me a little of yours? Aunt took a good while to emerge from his nest. In fact, Grasshopper wondered whether he would appear at all. He remembered how unkind he had been to Aunt in the summer. Finally, though, Aunt did emerge and he was carrying lots of food. Grasshopper gobbled it and all up gratefully. I'm sorry I laughed at you for collecting all that corn, he said. Next summer, I will follow your example and think ahead. Aunt smiled. Pleased that Grasshopper had learned his lesson. So that was the end of the story. So friends, how was the story? Do you like it? If you want to watch more stories, subscribe my channel and share the video. Bye.